Hey YouTube, in this video I've got some more intuitive L4E example solves. So for those of you who don't know, Pyraminx is my best event, although it's not really my main event anymore. I am still pretty decent at it, so I've been making these example solves once a year for quite a while, so I figured I'd do it again. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description to all my previous intuitive L4E example solves from like the last 4 years. Make sure to check those out, maybe before you watch this one, maybe after, whenever you get the chance. Also, I just want to note that intuitive L4E is an advanced method for Pyraminx, so if you are kind of confused, or maybe you don't use intuitive L4E, the block building skills that you get from intuitive L4E can definitely transfer to just about any other method, so you still might be able to get something from this video. The L4E part just might be a little confusing. But yeah, I just wanted to warn you guys ahead of time that this video might be a little bit advanced. Oh, and before I start with the first solve, I would like to say this is a Cube Depot Rocket X-Man Bell Pyraminx, so this is not actually released to the public yet, but it probably will be at some point soon. This is actually a prototype version that they sent me. So I'll leave a link in the description to the regular X-Man Bell where you can get it at Cube Depot, and save 5% with the code DGCubes. But yeah, I'll also update the description as soon as the Rocket one comes out. So if you want to follow along, you can just follow the scramble on screen, but I'm going to get started. Okay, so for this solve, I would do some block building on green. So there aren't any obvious blocks yet, but I see the green and yellow edge here, and the green and red edge here. So I see that the green and yellow edge belongs back here, and the green and red edge belongs right here. So I would solve the green and yellow edge by doing a U, R, like that, and that also solves this center. And then we have this green and red edge that you can put up in 2 moves by doing U prime, L prime, and I would probably solve the tip here. So then we have these 2 edges solved, and then you can finish like that. So now we have a V with that tip. So now I'd rotate. So now this L4E case is actually really nice. So it's 6 moves plus AUFs. So what I would do is I would see that this yellow and red piece belongs right up here. So you can solve this piece in the back with 3 moves like that. And then that sets up to a 3-move last 3 edges case. Just like that. And then I would solve it like that. So now moving on to solve number 2. Okay, so this solve I can actually one-look. So I can see that this block is solved and this block is solved. And since both of those blocks have a green edge, I'm probably going to solve green first. So I see that the green V can be solved in 3 moves by solving this center, then this center, and then this center. And that will also solve this edge and this edge in the process. And by doing that, basically we're moving this edge here, and then here, and then here. So if you look carefully, you'll notice that this edge will actually be flipped when it ends up here. And so then if we follow some other edges on the cube, I'll notice that this one will also end up flipped. This one only moves here, and then none of the other moves affect it. And then I also notice after doing that first move, this edge ends up right here, and it's flipped. And the next move won't affect it either. So basically, I know from that we have a 4-flip after doing the V, because this edge is flipped, this edge is flipped, and this edge is flipped, so there's no other way it can be than this edge also being flipped. So I would solve this by doing this first, then that. That's how I would solve the tips and everything. So I would start with that move, and then bring this down and bring both of those up, so we solve the tip and the V. So now the whole V is solved, and just as predicted, we have a 4-flip case. So I solve this by doing this algorithm. So this actually is a more algorithmic case. I used to use something different, but I'll show you the algorithm slowly, and then I will do it faster. So it starts out by doing this. So like a regular insert, like that, and then a lefty insert. And then you just repeat that again. And then it would just be an AUF. So faster, it looks like this. There you go. Alright, moving on to solve number 3. Okay, so this one I can't quite one-look, but I can see a lot in inspection. So personally, the first thing I notice is this block, and so I would want to do either blue or yellow based on this. Blue just really doesn't seem that great because 2 centers are unsolved, and there's not really a good way to solve any more edges without using B moves, so I wouldn't really want to do that. So I decided on yellow, and what I notice here is we can solve this center and put this edge in this position by doing just 3 moves, like that. And I can easily see that those 3 moves will not affect this piece at all, and this piece belongs right here. So I'm not actually going to be block building an entire V this time, but I will be solving it in only 6 moves, so it's still not that bad. And I can also see in inspection that this piece is going to end up here after I solve the V. And it'll have the blue facing this way. So I can tell that the blue is going to end up here after solving the V. So ideally we would want to have the red center right here facing us when we're solving L4E if the red is going to be down here. So we would easily be able to match it up in one move like that or like that. But I can actually see that when we're solving this piece afterwards, that's going to move the red center into place where we want it. So it's going to be a really easy transition into L4E, and you'll see what I mean as I actually solve the V, because I get that it can be kind of confusing, because this is all really conceptual right now. But yeah, so here we'll do the 3 moves plus the tip to solve the V, so I would do it like this. So that solves, well, not the whole V, but that solves one edge plus the centers. And then we did that to solve the V. So now you can see that this is exactly what I predicted, so we'll be able to insert this edge in 3 moves and solve it like that. So this is what I was talking about, how the red is down here and the red center is up here, so they can easily match in one move, either this way or this way. And to solve it, we want to bring it up this way so it matches the blue center as well. So I would do that, and then so we don't insert the edge accidentally and end up with a 2-flip, I would do it the other way, like that. And then U prime, and it's just a sledgehammer to solve the whole thing. And then 1 tip. Okay, moving on to solve number 4. Okay, so for this solve I see something kind of risky on yellow, but I would probably end up doing it, honestly. So now this is the yellow side, so I see that I can move this yellow and green edge right up here in 1 move, so that's already really nice. And I also see this yellow and red edge that we can move up here in 1 move. So essentially we would have solved 2 yellow edges, which would mean the V would be solved once we solve the centers as well. And then after that, I would honestly just end up improvising to solve this block and then the last center to solve the whole V. So it would probably look something like this. So I would solve these tips, solve that piece, do this sort of awkward B move, and then I would do a U, solve the center with that sort of L prime thing and the tip, and then a U. And then I'd rotate and see what L4E case we have. So this one's pretty easy to recognize. You just have this blue and red piece here, which belongs up here. So we're going to solve it like that, and then put it in the back so we have an L3E case, which is just a simple insert, just like that. There you go. Okay, so we'll do one last solve in this video, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so here's a really nice, pretty easily one-lookable case just to end the video. So on yellow, I see a really nice solution that ends up being about 8 moves, 9 with tips, or with tip. So as you can tell, we have this edge solved, this center solved, and then this center is 1 move away. So if we just solve the center like that, that is messing up the edge, so that's not a good idea. So we want a block build. So the way I would do this is I see this yellow and green edge can very easily be solved into this position by doing that, and then that also solves the center. So that's really nice. That's 3 moves to a V, which is very, very good. And then also I noticed this edge is solved in the back. If we do these 3 moves, if you follow this edge, you'll notice it doesn't actually get disrupted. It stays in its place. So what we know from that is we're going to have an L3E case when this is all finished. So I can tell that we have the yellow facing us here. So the L3E case is either going to be sort of an awkward sledge or a regular sledge. And I can just tell that it's going to be an awkward sledge because this blue is going to end up right here. So since these 2 don't match, it's going to be an awkward sledge. If these 2 were the same color, it would be just a regular sledge. So let's see if that plays out how I predicted it. So I would solve the tip like that, those 3 moves. And then as you can see, I was right, this blue ended up here. This yellow piece is going to go down here in 4 moves. And then that easily transitions into the AUF. So the L3E looks like this, which is really, really nice. That could definitely get some sub 2s. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.